former Lieutenant Governor Geoff Duncan, he didn't mince his words. He was straight up and he was very clear to Republican Party. And specifically, he called out Trump for exactly who he is. Check this out and then we'll take it on the other side.
He also went after the sitting governor, who happens to be a Republican. Let's listen.
Your governor, Kemp, and Raffensperger are doing everything possible to make 2024 difficult for Republicans to win. Kemp is very bad for the Republican Party. He wouldn't do anything. He could have ended the travesty with a phone call because I did nothing wrong.
Kemp is your former boss.
We served together for sure. Brian Kemp has forgotten more about being a Republican than Donald Trump knows about being a Republican. Brad Raffensperger and myself included, we have done more for the conservative cause than Donald Trump has ever done. This is now starting to not be Donald Trump's problem. This is starting to be the Republican Party's problem. We have to call him out for what he is. He's a felonious thug who walks down the street and throws sucker punches at people like Brian Kemp, like African-American journalists, like John McCain, and the list goes on and on and on again. And the Republican Party is content sitting across the street, watching it happen and not calling him out, not jumping into that fight and saying, you are wrong for us. This 10% in the middle, which now feels like it's growing to be bigger than 10% in the middle, that's going to decide this election, are paying attention. And I've never seen a human be more self-destructive than Donald Trump the last 2 weeks. He continues to do it over and over and over again. And when he loses and the Republican Party finally catches their breath and wakes up and says, we need a GOP 2.0, there'll be some people around, but it's going to take time to fix. My hope is that Kamala Harris ends up being a blank canvas for us to be able to help work these new policies and new ideas into place. That's the risk I'm taking as a Republican voting for Kamala Harris.
Brother Geoff Duncan is no liberal, no progressive, and he's voting for Kamala Harris, hoping that somehow some of the policies that they support, he wants to call her a blanket that he can, that some of their policies can get through. That's not what's material right here. What's material is this guy has truly put country over party, sanity over insanity, and reality over Earth number 2, right? He decides that the Republican Party, the way the Republican behaves right now, is simply a thuggish, felonious party, again, because they're following a felonious thug. He also points out that those people that Donald Trump object to in the Republican Party, most of them have forgotten about republicanism, what Donald Trump never, ever had. So, it's true. It is great to see Republicans, even as we don't agree with these guys, stand up for what's right. In this case, voting for Kamala Harris. Stand up for what's right. In this case, voting for sanity. Not only sanity, but responsibility. And I think guys like him should be commended for taking that stance. Yes, it's going to be painful for him for some time, but you know what? In the long run, he's going to look like a star. And going forward in the new Republican Party, as he defined it, Republican Party V2, version 2, it'll do him well. Good job, Geoff Duncan. And I tell you what, you keep pushing what you're pushing right now, just like a few other Republicans that came out. You're doing a good job.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.